AI is a fundamental risk to the existence of human civilization. They will crush you. In my opinion, it is the biggest risk that we face as a civilization is artificial intelligence.
We will not be able to hold a candle to AI. It's definitely going to be outside of human control.
Because what's going to happen is robots will be able to do everything better than us. I'm including, all of us, But when I say everything, like the robots will be able to do everything, bar nothing. It's like this is really like the scariest problem to me. I'll tell you.
I don't think most people understand just how quickly machine intelligence is advancing. It's much faster than almost anyone realizes, even within Silicon Valley, and certainly outside Silicon Valley, people really have no idea.
I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years.
Nobody listened.
Nobody listened. Like if you can't beat it, join it.
I think that the biggest risk is not that the AI will develop a will of its own, but rather that it will follow the will of people that establish its utility function or its optimization function.
The things that I think are really quite likely is that digital intelligence will be able to outthink us in every way, and it will certainly be able to simulate what we consider consciousness. So to a degree that you would not be able to tell the difference.
It could be just something like getting rid of spam email or something, and it's like concludes, well, the best way to get rid of spam is to get rid of humans.
If humanity collectively decides that creating digital superintelligence is the right move, then we should do so very, very carefully.
Once there is awareness, people will be extremely afraid, as they should be.
I'm really very close to the cutting edge in AI, and it scares the hell out of me. It's capable of vastly more than almost anyone knows, and the rate of improvement is exponential. We have to figure out some way to ensure that the advent of digital superintelligence is one which is symbiotic with humanity. I think that's the single biggest existential crisis that we face, and the most pressing one.
Let's say if you had an AI that was where the AI's goal was to maximize the value of a portfolio of stocks. One of the ways to maximize value would be to go long on defense, short on consumer, start a war. And then how could it do that? Well, hack into the Malaysian Airlines aircraft routing server, route it over a war zone, then send an anonymous tip that an enemy aircraft is flying overhead right now.
The danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot. And nobody would suggest that we allow anyone to just build nuclear warheads if they want. That would be insane. And mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. Far. So why do we have no regulatory oversight? This is insane.
So, just like that pace of progress is remarkable. And you can see more and more coming out into robotics. You can see robots that can learn to walk from nothing, within hours, like way faster than any biological being. But the thing that's most dangerous is, and it's the hardest to kind of wrap, kind of get your arms around because it's not a physical thing, is kind of a deep intelligence in the network.
If there's a super intelligent, particularly if it's engaged in recursive self-improvement, if there's some digital super intelligence and its optimization or utility function is something that's detrimental to humanity, then it will have a very bad effect.
So you used to have more hope, and you gave up some of it, and now you don't worry as much about AI. You're like, this is just what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, yes. The thing that's going to be tricky here is that it's going to be very tempting to use AI as a weapon. It's going to be very tempting. In fact, it will be used as a weapon. So the on-ramp to serious AI, the danger is going to be more humans using it against each other, I think, most likely. That'll be the danger. Yeah. I mean, I made this comment some years ago, but it feels like we are the biological bootloader for AI, effectively. We are building it. And then we're building progressively greater intelligence. And the percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing. And eventually, we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence. I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years.
AI doesn't have to be evil to destroy humanity. If AI has a goal and humanity just happens to be in the way, it will destroy humanity as a matter of course, without even thinking about it. No hard feelings. It's just like if we're building a road and an anthill happens to be in the way, we don't hate ants. We're just building a road. And so goodbye anthill. I think it's incredibly important that AI not be other. It must be us. And I could be wrong about what I'm saying. I'm certainly open to ideas if anybody can suggest a path that's better. But I think we're really going to have to either merge with AI or be left behind.
I think one of the solutions that seems maybe the best one is to have an AI layer.
That's the scenario. The merge scenario with AI is the one that seems like probably the best. Like
for us.
Yes. Like if you can't beat it, join it.
Motivation, which was, what do we do about AI? The AI is very, very benevolent. Then how do we even go along for the ride? How do we participate?
In order to solve full self-driving properly, you have to solve real-world AI. Because you say, like, what are the road networks designed to work with? They're designed to work with a biological neural net, our brains, and with vision, our eyes. And so in order to make it work with computers, you basically need to solve real-world AI and vision. Because we need cameras and silicon neural nets in order to have self-driving work for a system that was designed for eyes and biological neural nets. I guess when you put it that way, it's sort of like quite obvious that the only way to solve full self-driving is to solve real-world AI and sophisticated vision. It took me a while to sort of realize this, that in order to solve self-driving, you really needed to solve real-world AI. And the point at which you solve real-world AI for a car, which is really a robot on four wheels, you can then generalize that to a robot on legs as well. The two hard parts, I think, like obviously companies like Boston Dynamics have shown that it's possible to make quite compelling, sometimes alarming robots. Right. So this, from a sensors and actuator standpoint, it's certainly been demonstrated by many that it's possible to make a humanoid robot. The things that are currently missing are enough intelligence for the robot to navigate the real world and do useful things, without being explicitly instructed. So the missing things are basically real-world intelligence and scaling up manufacturing. Those are two things that Tesla is very good at, and so then we basically just need to design the specialized actuators and sensors that are needed for a humanoid robot. People have no idea. This is going to be bigger than the car. Like, I think one of the things that's going to be important is to have a localized ROM chip on the robot that cannot be updated over the air. Where if you, for example, were to say stop, 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 that would, if anyone said that, then the robot would stop, type of thing. And that's not updatable remotely. I think it's going to be important to have safety features like that. And I do think there should be a regulatory agency for AI. I've said this for many years. I don't love being regulated, but I think this is an important thing for public safety.
The scientific method, which I very much believe in, where something is true to the degree that it is testably so, and otherwise you're really just talking about, preferences or untestable beliefs or that kind of thing. So it ends up being somewhat of a semantic question where we are conflating a lot of things with the word intelligence. If we parse them out and say, are we headed towards a future where an AI will be able to outthink us in every way? Then the answer is unequivocally yes. If you can't tell the difference, and this is sort of the Turing test, but think of a more sort of advanced version of the Turing test. If you're talking to a digital superintelligence and can't tell if that is a computer or a human, like let's say you're just having a conversation over a phone or a video conference or something where it looks like a person makes all of the right inflections and movements and all the small subtleties that constitute a human, talks like a human, makes mistakes like a human, at that, and you literally just can't tell, are you video conferencing with a person or an AI?
Might as well
Be
human.
I think there's a tremendous amount of investment going on in AI. Where there's a lack of investment is in AI safety, and there should be, in my view, a government agency that oversees anything related to AI to confirm that it does not represent a public safety risk. Just as there is a regulatory authority for, just like the Food and Drug Administration, there's NHTSA for automotive safety, there's the FAA for aircraft safety. We've generally come to the conclusion that it is important to have a government referee or a referee that is serving the public interest and ensuring that things are safe when there's a potential danger to the public. I would argue that AI is unequivocally something that has potential to be dangerous to the public, and therefore should have a regulatory agency, just as other things that are dangerous to the public have a regulatory agency. People in the AI community refer to the advent of digital superintelligence as a singularity. That is not to say that it is good or bad, but that it is very difficult to predict what will happen after that point, and that there's some probability it will be bad, some probability it will be good. We obviously want to affect that probability and have it be more good than bad. My prime motivation, which was, what do we do about AI? Like, what do we do about artificial general intelligence? If we have digital superintelligence that's just much smarter than any human, how do we mitigate that risk? At a species level, how do we mitigate that risk? And then even in a benign scenario where the AI is very, very benevolent, then how do we even go along for the ride? How do we participate? The biggest limitation in going along for the ride and in aligning AI, I think, is the bandwidth, the how quickly you can interact with the computer. So we are all already cyborgs in a way, in that your phone and your computer are extensions of yourself. And I'm sure you found, like, if you leave your phone behind, you end up tapping your pockets, and it's like having missing limb syndrome. Like, where the phone is leaving your phone behind is kind of like a missing limb at this point. You're so used to interfacing with it. You're so used to being a de facto cyborg. So what's the limitation on a phone or
a laptop. The limitation is the rate at which you can receive and send information, especially the speed with which you can send information. So if you're interacting with a phone, it's limited by the speed at which you can move your thumbs, or the speed at which you can talk into your phone. This is an extremely low data rate. Maybe it's like 10, optimistically 100 bits per second, but a computer can communicate at gigabits, terabits per second. So this is the fundamental limitation that I think we need to address to mitigate the long-term risk of artificial intelligence, and also just go along for the ride.
I think AI is going to be incredibly sophisticated in 20 years. It seems to be accelerating, and the tricky thing about predicting things when there's an exponential is that an exponential looks linear close up, but it's not linear. So, and AI appears to be accelerating, from what I can see. Well, I had sort of a debate about something like, is AI accelerating or not? And he was saying, well, what's the y-axis? If it's accelerating, you have t on the x-axis, but what's the y-axis? I said, well, I thought about that. I think you could have a recursive y-axis, so that if at any point in time your predictions for AI are coming sooner or later, that actually would help define whether it's accelerating or not. If you find your predictions are going further out or coming closer in, that actually is one way to think of acceleration. Because otherwise, what's the qualitative or quantitative measure of AI? In terms of getting excited about it, I mean, it's I think we'll probably start seeing more truly cyborg activity, human brain like brain-computer interfaces.
Well, like I said, AI and robotics will bring out what might be termed the age of abundance. Other people have used this word, and that this is my prediction. Will be an age of abundance for everyone. I guess there's the dangers would be the artificial general intelligence or digital superintelligence decouples from a collective human will and goes in a direction that for some reason we don't like, of whatever direction it might go. That's sort of the idea behind Neuralink, is to try to more tightly couple collective human will to digital superintelligence. And also along the way solve a lot of brain injuries and spinal injuries and that kind of thing. So even if it doesn't succeed in the greater goal, I think it will succeed in the goal of alleviating brain and spine damage. Neuralink is to help solve brain injuries and existential risk with AI, love of humanity.
Tesla's goal from when we started it has always been to accelerate sustainability. So that is still our primary goal by far. We have a secondary goal, which is to solve at least real-world intelligence as it applies to self-driving cars, and then potentially, with humanoid robots. So Tesla is in part an AI company, and increasingly an AI company, but is still primarily a sustainable energy company. I think AI, what will AI do? I don't think we need AI to solve sustainability. That is happening. It might help us accelerate it. But I think we should also be cautious about AI and just make sure that as we develop AI, that it is, it doesn't get out of control, and that the AI helps make the future better for humanity. I think we should be more worried about AI safety than we currently are. Especially, the future wars are really going to be, and we're seeing a taste of that in Ukraine, very much drone wars. So, if your drones are better than their drones, then you win, basically, is what will happen.
I obviously have mixed thoughts about AI. We've got to watch out for AI being a danger. But it's happening either way, so I guess if we do it, we can try our best to make sure it is positive, good AI. AI is going to be a very important part of the future. Self-driving is obviously one of the functions. and hopefully.
The reason I created Neuralink was long-term as a risk mitigation for digital superintelligence, in that if we are able to effectively achieve symbiosis with digital intelligence, then we're sort of, the collective human will is better able to steer things in a direction that we'd like, or even with benign AI.